Hi, I'm Taylor of Taylor Lynn Crochet, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about overhead filming. So I'm going to show you guys how to get like that really nice shot from up top to look straight down on your tabletop, so that when you want to do crochet tutorials, if you want to do cooking tutorials, craft tutorials, any kind of thing where you would need for the camera to be up here to record something that's down here on your table from a top up perspective, how exactly you get your camera to stay there without someone having to hold it up there the whole time. This is something that I really struggled with when I first started doing crochet tutorials. So I wanted to save you guys the same struggle I had and give you a couple different options. But before we start, I want to talk about some things that you're going to need just besides like your camera and whatever overhead tripod option you choose. You're going to need a table to film on, some kind of tabletop. I just have right here, what I have is just a foldable table, collapsible table that I got from Walmart for 20 or 30 bucks. And then what I did was I got this vinyl backdrop from Etsy. The seller that I purchased this from is no longer on Etsy anymore, so I can't link that exact one, but I found one that has really good reviews, another vinyl backdrop seller, so I'll link that in the comment section. And these are really great. They work great for like hanging up and pinning up on the wall and getting like a backdrop for like a wall backdrop if you need it. But I like to lay mine on the table for filming, and then when I film, this is what you guys see. And I think this is a really good clean background. All white backgrounds work really, really well. Really light colors if you want to do like a marble or a glitter. So like I said, the marble, the glitter, any light colored backdrops tend to work really, really well. You can be creative with it. This is like our kitchen island. This is what this looks like. It's a little busy, so I mean that's like not a great thing, but it's light. This wood over here is a little dark, but if you have good lighting, it won't be so bad. I mean, my mom's purse is like tan, so it'll still film and turn out really well. But I personally just prefer the lighter background. You can also use something like this cutting mat, or something like that for a good photo backdrop. Or just a white poster board over your table also works really well too. Get those for pennies pretty much at the store. So that's the first thing you're gonna need. Another thing you're gonna need is some sort of lighting. This is a ring light that I have. Currently on Amazon, this ring light's only $60. So, $60 ring light. I have a box, 2 box lights. I'll put a picture up somewhere on the screen of what those look like. They came in a set of 2, so you can get 2 lights for $60. The main difference is this ring light is adjustable, so when I turn it on, the brightness is dimmable, which is really nice to have. I like to use this for filming front on, like if I were filming like this and I didn't have good lighting, I would turn that on because it's really good frontal lighting. But the box lights, actually you can set one up on the side and then one right in front of you, and you get kind of directional lighting. And for filming, if I had to choose and I can only afford to buy 1 ring light or 2 box lights, I personally would buy 2 box lights. That's what I started with, and the applications that you can use those for are absolutely endless. The only downfall to those box lights is they're not adjustable at all, so it's kind of like you turn it on and that it's at that one setting, but you can adjust your camera settings to offset, like if the light's too harsh, or move the lights farther away, because having light come in multiple directions really helps light up your crochet or whatever you're trying to show your tutorial for. I'm in a room right now with 1, 2, 4 windows, and it's like our little sunroom, and like obviously I have really, really great lighting, and I have a ring light in here set up. I've been filming in this room a lot lately, and I have my ring light set up because anyone who follows me on Instagram, watches my stories, knows that I wake up at like 6 or 7 in the morning on weekends a lot, and I start filming and editing right away. So at 6 a.m. it's still dark, at least in winter it is. In the summertime it might brighten up a little bit, but I don't have any lighting in here in the morning. So usually I just turn on my 1 ring light, or I bring another box light down, or I just try and fix it in editing afterwards, which Sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, so it's best just to have good lighting right from the start. But I mean, I'll show you guys real quick like what our lighting situation is. We have one window there, another there, the door window, and then an additional window. So amazing, amazing light. I could even move my table right here closer to the window and get even more light on my window. I wouldn't want to move it, for example, right here where the direct sun is. That is too harsh. You don't want that. You want it to be indirect light for any tutorials, and that goes for like filming your face and like talking videos too. Okay, let the peanut in. Okay, so backdrop, table, ring light. And then the last thing I want to suggest is this little tool. And what this tool does is it allows you to clamp it onto things, and then you can screw on your camera right here. If you film with your iPhone, which you totally can, you just need to get a little clip or holder to clip onto your phone to allow you to attach it right here. I'll link some cell phone adapters for camera tripods right in the description box below. But these are just some of like the basic things. Like I said, if you have windows, good lighting in your house, or have somewhere you can film, go to your mom's or your grandma's or your aunt's or somewhere and film, you don't need a light. You can just do natural light if you can film during the day. And then this little thing, this, I think it's like $10 to $15. I actually purchased a second one. I own two. It can be clipped on to every rig that I'm about to show you. It can be clipped on, as well as like your fridge door handles and like anything, like a ceiling fan. Like it can be clamped onto so many things that I think you'll find that this is a tool that you use over and over again, and it's worth investing in if you plan to do any sort of long-term filming. So I'm gonna get the first filming setup all set up for you guys and show you the first option, which is a little bit of a DIY option. Okay, so this is filming overhead option 1. There was a little contraption. I'll link the tutorial that I used to build this off of YouTube. There was a little contraption that's like a box of PVC that allows you to slide it back and forth. I'll include a picture if I can dig one up. But the reason I took it off is because I started using this clamp on here that I purchased instead, which allows you just to clamp this right on there and then hook your camera and screw it right on. You can take out the second pipe if you want, if it's in your way. And then this gives you the overhead filming that you need. The nice thing, like I said about that box, was that it allowed you to slide it over, but I put little felt sticky pads on the bottom of my whole thing so I can just move it over. I did not glue this together, and that was because I wanted to be able to fold these legs in and make it completely collapsible so I could slide it under my bed or in the corner somewhere without it taking up a ton of space if I couldn't leave it on my tabletop. But I think this is a really good option. I think this was about $40 in PVC. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna include a link to 3 other PVC setups. One that is like that you clamp to the table. It only cost them $10, but it's a much different setup than this. And then there's one that was a $15 one that the person screwed into their tabletop. And the last one is a $30 one. And I think out of all of those, I would recommend that $30 one. It's one that you could pick up and easily set down on any table. You could set it on the floor. It's really adjustable, but I'll include links to all of those if this is the kind of setup that you're interested in. This is what I started with, and obviously I still kept it because I can't bring myself to get rid of it yet, because there might be a time that this is exactly the setup that I need. So that was setup number 1. Okay, setup number 2 is this backdrop stand right here. So these are the stands that photographers set up and hang their sheets or whatever it is on the backdrops and photograph pictures. I use this backdrop stand for obviously overhead filming with my clamp. I just clamp this up there. The best thing about this option is that you can adjust the height, so you can bring this taller or shorter depending on what you're filming. If you're filming something that's really small, like a coffee cozy, you would only need, you know, this much footage area. But if you're filming like a crochet top or a sweater, you might need a broader footage area. So you can just unscrew the side here, lift the whole thing up, tighten it, and you're good to go, which is really, really nice. There is another bar that you can put in here to make it even wider if you have like a really long table or you're filming on like your dining table. And then also if you have a narrower table, you can take one of these bars out and make it much more narrow so it doesn't take up as much room. This is the current setup that I've been using for a long time, and I really, really like it. Like all of this stuff, this backdrop can be collapsed down, and it comes in like a bag that's about this long and about this round, and you just shove all the poles in there, roll it up, and then you can put it under your bed, or you can put it in the closet and tuck it away. I have the habit of leaving mine set up because I don't like getting it out again. But it can be tucked away if you need it to. So that's why I really, really like this one. And like I said, I use this backdrop for this. I use it for photographing all of my tops. I'll throw up some pictures of my tops right here that I photographed in front of this backdrop. It comes with a white, black, and green for green screen backdrops to put up on these posts for photographs. You can also buy a kit where you can get a backdrop stand, 2 umbrella lights, and then those same green, black, white backdrops, and then a carrying bag to carry it all, which I got mine in a kit. I got mine in a kit with my box lights. And so if you've been looking for lights and a backdrop stand, I think that's like a really good buy. It's like $100 or less, which is really cheap. I will say that these backdrop stands cannot hold a ton of weight, so you couldn't put really heavy curtains or anything on there, but I got some really light sheer curtains from Walmart that I use at craft fairs. I'll put it up and I'll put the curtains across the back to separate my booth from the person behind me. It's just a little divider so that when someone looks into my booth, all they see is my stuff. They don't see all the person's stuff behind me. So there's a lot of uses for it. So if you do craft shows or you take your own photography photos like of yourself for products and whatnot, you might want to invest in one of these. And then also you can use it for overhead filming without having to invest any additional money. So now I'm going to show you guys the third option, which is even smaller than this setup. So the third option is this Arcon tripod stand. It's got a really weighted base, and then these arms are completely bendable. So for example, I could set this back on my table, hook my camera up right here, and then film straight down. You do have to be careful that you're not getting the base in your footage, or maybe you can edit it out depending on what your editing skills are. But it's also adjustable in height, which is really nice. So it can go taller and shorter depending on what you need. And each of these pieces right here can be adjustable. You can take one out if you need to. You just have to make sure that you don't lean it too far out. If you have a heavier camera, it'll tip right over. So you might have to put some sandbags or clamp it to the back of your table. You can just get like little C clamps for woodworking and clamp it to the back of your table to make sure it's extra secure. But that is an option as well. I don't know, I'll try and see if I can find an exact link to this exact one. Otherwise, I went on their site and there are tons and tons of different sorts of tripod options that would allow you to get that overhead angle. This was about $75 to $80, I want to say. I got it when they had like a Black Friday sale. So it is a little bit pricier, but I mean, it's super small. It's obviously super portable, so you could bring it and set it up on any tabletop that you have. And it'd be really easy to store, much less so than some of the other options I've showed you so far. Okay, and then this stand right here is option number 3. This is a boom pole stand for filming. Usually you'd hook your microphone on the end. For this part right here, there are little adapters that you can get from, I think this is like 5/8 or 3/8 to 1/4 inch. which would be the same size as this. There are some adapters. You can just get them off Amazon. They're only a couple bucks if you wanted to. But what I would probably do with this setup is just attach this clamp. Like I said, this thing can be used for almost anything. And then attach your camera right on here. It allows you to swing it. You can adjust the height right here, up or down. You can adjust how far in or out with this little knob right here. It's made for audio equipment. That's what I intend to use it for. But honestly, I could attach my little shotgun mic on the end to the actual attachment, use my clamp and use it for my camera and my mic. And you can get microphones that plug right into iPhones or Androids if you have those as well. I did buy a bunch of audio equipment that I plan to test out and give reviews on. So whatever setup works for me, I'm going to do it with my phone and with my camera. My camera actually doesn't have external audio, so I'm going to have to either use a third-party audio recorder or record it in the memo on my phone and sync it up in post-editing. But I really like this option. I think I might actually even go to this option soon, maybe, so that I can use my backdrop for actual photography and not have to move it and set it up. But I think that this is just a really great, easy, awesome option. Let me look up how much this costs real quick. I just ordered it. So this stand was only $36, and this is honestly a lot more heavy duty than my backdrop stand is, or any tripods that I own. It's pretty hefty. It's pretty heavy. It's got a really strong base, so like I wouldn't be concerned about like the wind blowing this over if for some reason I was filming outside. It's just really strong. Obviously this part up here is a little bit thinner metal, not as strong, but the way that they have it is that you can hang a grocery bag with weights or sandbags here on the end to counterbalance this arm, this boom arm right here, if you have heavy equipment on there. So you can just add a little bit of weight so you don't tip your whole stand over. But the base of this is pretty heavy, so like I have no doubt that this could hold I have a Canon G7X Mark II, so I'll put a picture of what that looks like right here. It is not a DSLR camera, but it is like a point and shoot camera with DSLR capabilities. The DSLRs were really challenging for me. I wanted something that was small, that my arm wouldn't get tired holding, and that I could flip a screen up and see myself while I recorded, and this meant all of those things. The only thing I don't really care for about with this camera is the fact that it doesn't have an audio input, so I can't hook a microphone directly to my camera. I have to record it on a different device and then sync it if I want to not use the microphone that's built into my camera. I have been using the built-in mic this whole time, so the audio quality is not bad. Just when we go outside for like my vlogs and other things, the wind and noise from other people is really loud in the camera, and I don't like that. So this is another option that I think you'll really like. There are also things called C stands, which I'll pop a picture up right here. They're like stands for lighting equipment and all kinds of different filming equipment. They're really heavy duty. They're on wheels. They kind of remind me of like the little things at hospitals that you see people wheeling around with when they're attached to some kind of fluids. But it's meant for like heavy duty equipment, and you would just buy an arm attachment that would attach on like right here and pop out, and usually those arms attachments are something that are like collapsible, foldable, and they have a lot of movement in them, and you could make one C stand and attach all of your lighting, your audio, and your camera to, which would be really awesome. And it'd be portable, and you could just wheel it to the corner of your room to put it away and wheel it out to wherever you want when you do it. I'll share a link to Peter McKinnon's setup that he used with the C stand. He has a whole video on like a overhead setup, but it's like hundreds of dollars. I'm not investing that much, and like I said, I found a ton of different workarounds, but I like Peter McKinnon. He has a lot of really helpful videos for photos and for video content, so I'll link that in there as well in case you want to invest right up front in a really heavy duty option. Okay, and then I just wanted to tell you guys there is one more option. I've seen other people do this on YouTube where this is actually like a microphone boom pull or shock pull. And what it does is it just clamps on the side of your table, and then you can move it, adjust it how you need it. And then, like I said earlier when I talked about this boom pole, there are adapters, just little screw adapters to change the size of the head on these. You just have to look up whatever size boom arm you get with yours, whatever nut size you have. Make sure that you buy the correct size adapter, and it's going to be a 1/4 inch screw. That's the screw that goes into the bottom of your cameras. It's on most tripods and will go into most phone holders, so keep that in mind. That's just an option where you could clamp it over here. But I figured it was worth mentioning to you guys. You can get these for anywhere from $20 to $100 depending on what level of quality you want. But this is just a cheaper one, so I think you'll be fine with most of them. Just look at how much weight it can hold. If you have like a heavy DSLR camera, I would not use one of these. But if you have a smaller camera like I do with the Canon G7X Mark II, or just a cell phone, I think this will be plenty enough strong. But yeah, so that is all of the overhead options for filming that I have for you guys. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe if you guys want to see more content. I plan to do more tutorials like this if you want to start doing filming YouTube videos, or if you want to start doing tutorials of some sort on just your blog. I want to give you guys the tools you need to do that. I have crochet tutorials, Addy tutorials, market setups. I just recently put up a new home tour for my grandpa's house. You guys can see it before we did any demolition. Get a little tour. Laugh at me that I thought we were going to move in a month and a half, because now we've done so much more than we ever thought we were going to do. But yeah, so definitely subscribe if you want to see stuff like that, and I will see you guys next time.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.